Moving on, staying on the topic of marketing of reality capture, let me welcome on stage the CEO of Nubigon, Bert Azizoglu. Bert, welcome and enjoy.
All right, guys, final stretch. I'll keep it light and easy. I gotta say, personally, it's been incredibly insightful these past couple of 2 days. So I want to ask you, how many of you feel excited and encouraged going forward for our industry? But can you please raise your hand? All right, that looks pretty good. Now, I want to talk about how we can carry this enthusiasm and this encouragement into the outside world and bring more people into our community. My team and I, we develop a software called Nubigon. We help our users to showcase reality capture projects and scan-to-BIM projects in the most effective way possible. And a suitable start for this presentation would be to start with a client showcase. This data and model was provided to us by Scan3D, who have a booth out here and whose CEO have a particular affiliation for chicken costumes. So please enjoy this video. It will take about a minute. Now, many of you might be inclined to ask yourself, what's the method? How did they capture the data? What hardware did they use? How did they model? What was the level of detail? These are all valid questions that dominate day-to-day conversations in our industry. But I want to take a step back and appreciate the fact that we just watched a video for about a minute and were able to get a pretty good first sense of the scan quality of the model and the overall effort that went into this project. And I think that's true for both the experts and the novices. And since there are many more people out in the world that are not familiar with our services and our technologies, it is important to dwell on that fact. And today I want to talk about how we can leverage this potential into expanding our scope. And I think it all starts with us. Every day, we have two roles, two shoes to fill. We are enthusiasts, we explore new technologies, we develop new solutions, and we deploy them for our businesses. But at the same time, we are advocates. We talk to developers, property owners, designers, architects, and many more who might be interested in the technologies and services that our industry offers. And I think it is important to lean into this role, into becoming advocates on a day-to-day basis in order to expand our reach. we live in a time of visual communication. 80% of web traffic is currently driven by video content. On average, every person spends about 17 hours per week watching short-form videos on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, to long-form videos on YouTube. Video content drives engagement on social media, and in fact, that's why most of us are here, because we have liked, commented, or reposted one of our fellow community members' post on LinkedIn. Now, at Nubigon, we help provide a gateway from reality capture into this ecosystem of communication. Our solutions specialize in rendering point clouds with associated CAD models, BIM models, mesh models, and many more. So I want to provide another example offered by one of our other clients and take you to another tour. So this was where we stood up until today. Today I'm happy to announce that we're also now supporting rendering of Gaussian splats of any size. What you see here are data sets provided to us by Adam Hawken, and these two first data sets you'll see here are XGrids data sets, rendered in Nubigon with incredibly high performance. All right. Now, I know it's the second to last presentation, so I don't want to overwhelm you with additional feature presentations. What I wanted to do for this particular event was to celebrate our users. And for that purpose, Michal and I actually came up with the idea of putting out a call to submit videos prepared with Nubigon and then post it online, primarily LinkedIn. And we said, the people with the highest engagement of posts will become finalists. Among those finalists, this audience will be able to select the winner, whom we're going to award with a perpetual Nubigon license. So, with that in mind, I want to present to you 3 videos, and I'll speak to each one of them in greater detail. So the first one, which had the highest likes and engagement in general, is by Edwin. He came here all the way from Australia, which is an achievement in itself, and prepared this video. The second one is by Alexei, who's based in Armenia but recently moved to Italy and submitted this video. And finally, we have Jeremy's work, which is based on oil and gas facilities. All right. So now it's time to vote.
Yes, indeed. So, ladies and gentlemen, grab your smartphones once again, and you will be able now to pick the video that you like the best out of these 3. So I'm going to launch the poll. Not to bias you, the results will be hidden first, and then we are going to, all of us, reveal it at the same time. So let's bring Slido back on screen, please. And I have started the poll. which video did you like the best? So let's see which video is going to win the popular vote. We've got 57 votes in, 62. Cool, so video 1, video 2, or video 3. So let's take a look at who's going to be a winner. We're gonna wait for a few more moments. 90 votes, very cool. Okay, still rising. So let's wait for a few more moments. Then I'm going to close the voting and we can reveal the results. 95, all right, I'm closing the voting. Bert, shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. And the winner is video number 1, 65%. Congratulations. A big clap.
All right. Edwin, where are you? All right, you want to come up?
Please join us on stage.
You don't have a microphone. No, but can you provide him with a microphone? Sweet. So Edwin, can you tell us a little bit about the project that you showcase in this particular video?
Yes, of course. So this project was a heritage home that was bought by a new owner. And before doing any kind of work, they wanted to make sure we capture everything that, that currently exists, so in terms of architectural value. So we started with the 3D laser scan doing the, using the RTC as well as the total stations to georeference it. And after we did all this work, we saw that the non-technical stakeholders of this whole project could not really sense where all the value is and then where all of their investment is actually going towards. And so this is why we went more into creating these kind of videos that showcase not only the scan itself, but then all the other deliverables such as the BIM and the 2D elements like drawings. And so, yeah, this was the result, and our feedback has been great so far. So,
can you tell us a little bit about your background and how
yeah,
you
of
got
course.
into
So,
this?
I'm an architect. I finished here in Europe, actually. Then we moved to Australia. I worked a little bit in architecture, then was too excited about the technology, as many of the previous speakers have already mentioned. And so I left architecture a bit and then went into reality capture. I work for a company called Larky that has a platform combining aerial data with streetscape as well as terrestrial scanning. And then with point cloud visuals, I felt the need to help others showcase their work the same way as you've seen before. And so, yeah, that's where we got to.
Can you tell us a little bit about the specific communication that these videos enable?
Yes, so as I already mentioned, the non-technical stakeholders can't really touch the data, right? Because we are so used to speaking to other peers and showing our work, we all appreciate it, and as we see it on a big screen, when we see the behind the contents scenes, we can sort of feel the pain or can feel the experience of being on a site and know what it's about. But all the other people who are not really working in day-to-day in this field, they can't really have a sense of it. And so these videos help in communicating it and then telling actually better spatial stories, I would say.
Perfect. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much again, and thank you for everyone for voting. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.